All right, that is a wrap for the Super Bowl. Welcome, everybody, to another episode. If you didn't catch my Sunday, this is the part two of a special edition of Journal Entry. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. And this is normally all about my brick life and some about a little bit in the personal realm. And I thought with the Super Bowl that I would kind of break things up, do one pre-Super Bowl with a little bit of prediction, and then end one today on Monday as kind of the Monday morning quarterback with kind of the outcome and my thoughts on the game. And a big shout out to Builder Buds or Ronnie over there on his Kansas City Chiefs big win. For those Philly fans out there, it's all right. I mean, I think that was a well fought game. One of the better, I think, offensive performances. There really wasn't very much punting, I'll tell you that much. The one thing, the crazy part about the game to me was that it really kind of went how I thought it would. I mean, obviously, you can't predict, individually, like the scores and how things would flow, but I kind of thought like Philly kind of had that physical dominance at the line and would push them a little bit around and be able to do the run game, which they absolutely were to do. I talked about having Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, how they were like, two-star receivers, that would really help them. And sure enough, they showed up. I really thought Jalen Hurts played a pretty awesome game. I mean, obviously, he didn't throw it, too many interceptions, but he had the one fumble, but I mean that could have happened to any quarterback, right? Like an interception in the Super Bowl or one fumble, and then he didn't waver. They went right back to him, got him right back on the bike, and away he went. I mean, he easily could have maybe gotten frustrated from that fumble and wavered in any way. In fact, they actually took the lead after that whole series of turn of events. So, and then even Kansas City missed a field goal, and so there were controversial calls, there were close calls, there was the receivers weren't dropping the ball, that's for sure. I felt like the tight end, I forget his name. It wasn't Goddard. It was something for Philly. Did an amazing job, and then Travis Kelce, as usual, was awesome. It was interesting to see the Kansas City really relied heavily kind of spreading the ball around and playing some matchups and then really exploiting Travis Kelce quite a bit. And then their special teams came through. Mahomes, even on one hurt leg, still looked pretty fast. Not quite as fast as usual, but did great. So ultimately, I just, the score outcome wasn't exactly where I had predicted, but it wasn't too far off. Philly did a really, really good job. Vegas probably had it right. I mean, if Jalen Hurts doesn't fumble that ball, and maybe there's one other, I think Philly struggled kind of putting pressure on Mahomes. I think that was probably the difference, right? I think if Philly would have done what they did, plus had some pressure on Mahomes, I think they would have probably won the game. I just don't think I've ever seen an offensive line dominate like that in the Super Bowl and then have them lose. So I think that was kind of atypical. I think the Philadelphia Eagles, if they can maintain that offensive line, I mean, they're going to be good for a long time. I mean, they don't have to draft receivers. They don't even really have to draft running backs, although, I didn't really see much of Miles Sanders, which is kind of crazy. Gainwell was kind of the featured guy, so maybe they need another running back to kind of bolster that. But their tight end looked great. So really, they don't need much. I think they just need to, I don't know, maybe a little bit more on defense, but I don't know. I really think the Philadelphia Eagles did a great job. I think they just kind of ran into experience. I mean, Andy Reid and company did a great job with the play call. So overall, it was a really enjoyable experience. The really funny part of the Super Bowl was Rihanna's halftime. First, I really liked that it was just her, which was really great. I don't always love it when it's just, oh, and here Jay-Z shows up, and then Snoop Dogg shows up, and then 50 Cent, and then Eminem, and then like some other artist. Sometimes that's okay, but I think in the case of this Super Bowl, it was a really good deal that it was just Rihanna. I know like the internet was literally on fire during the halftime talking about how Rihanna's probably pregnant. She did look a little, she was singing fine, although I'm sure she was like half lip syncing and just kind of adding in because it's just in the stadium, the acoustics are so terrible, they kind of have to do that. But I don't know, she didn't quite seem herself. I don't really know anything about Rihanna other than she has just a ton of hits and is essentially kind of a younger Beyonce, maybe. I don't know if you want to call it that, because she's got a heck of a voice, vocal range, all that kind of stuff. And I thought it was fine. I thought the dancers really, the choreography was pretty solid, and I like the lighting, all that kind of stuff. But I don't know what people's thoughts are, so let me know in the comments. And of course, shout out to Will. He's suffering through football. Football season is over. No more. So now we are concentrating on Lego Star Wars. So a couple other things. It was really funny during the I was trying to work out deals on Mercari during the Super Bowl, so that was really funny. I forgot to mention about the flower. This is the bouquet of flowers. My wife transferred it to this vase, which tips over really easily. And in fact, I'm gonna take this out because it's really tippy. It's just gonna bust off. And so I've got to now fix this because it fell over and crashed into pieces. So that's the only, I guess, downside of Lego flowers, is that if you're in a vase, it falls over. This is a really tipsy vase. So we had it in a wider one and it looked great. And then she insisted that she wanted to keep the vase for regular flowers upstairs. So I don't know. It's her call, not mine. So now this is down here, and as soon as it was in this vase, it crashes, and now I've got to fix everything. So that'll be that's why this is here in my studio. Got to fix that. The Star Wars mock is going to continue, and apparently Aaron Rodgers is going to have to lock himself away for 4 days so that we can get the blessings from who knows what universe he's on, to make a decision on whether he stays with the Packers, gets traded, or maybe it's time for him to go be a monk in some monastery somewhere. I have no idea. So who knows what's going to happen there. So let me know in the comments, how did you like the Super Bowl? Oh, we forgot to talk about commercials. The commercials were better than last year, but there were some that were very confusing. I guess some of these, especially the ones that are secretly political ads, it's like, come on, man, not cool. Other than that, some of them there were a couple pretty funny ones. I don't know, they weren't really as memorable. I think the other piece that was annoying is that I was expecting more of the traditional Budweiser or Doritos, which is my jam. I posted my big photo that I posted on Instagram was of the Doritos chip. It's just kind of a thing, like the Super Bowl and Doritos are kind of, and Fritos and Doritos are my two, and then you always got to have some sort of a dip with those. So Fritos, it's got to be Scoops. That's the one. So with that, that's all I have for this Monday. Again, hopefully everybody's waking up and is getting over their hangovers, getting back to work, because it is now full-on building season until the winter ends in March. So we've got a couple solid months, get a month or two of solid building. I need to get going on this mock that hopefully I can have ready for Brickworld Chicago. Hopefully you can join me during that convention. That's going to be a blast, and we'll catch you on the next journal entry. Bye for now.